again, it was a great atmosphere and environment. I think it was terrific for our football team. You experienced that. I think Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl put on an excellent venue. I think the stadium was beautiful, I think, but the whole thing they did was first class. It was a great opportunity for a couple very good teams to get together and play, and, and it was that for the weekend. I think our kids will benefit from that experience in the near future, dealing with all the different things that went on, and for the most part, I thought handled it very well. Getting to the game, watching the film, very proud of our kids with the physicality and the toughness in which they played with, competed very hard in the football game. Thought we played very well at times. And then we had some self-inflicted wounds and things that also, give Alabama credit. They did a great job. Some of that's caused by them making the plays. And we lost the momentum of the football game and then got it swung. But it was a very competitive, very hard-fought game. A lot of things we can get cleaned up. But at the same time, it's things that are very fixable. And walking away from that game, like I say, disappointed that we didn't have the outcome in which we wanted and some things in which we did at times. Still very, very encouraged that we got a heck of a football team in front of us and we can still do some great things and have a tremendous year. I'm very proud of a lot of guys who played in that game. So saying all that, questions?
Jimbo, of course, what is the official prognosis on DeAndre Francois? And assuming that he cannot go, has a starter been named for week 2?
Yeah, as of right now, James Blackman will be our number 1 guy going in. But DeAndre, he suffered a torn patella tendon in his kneecap, which is actually a very rare thing. I've never actually had one as a coach. And it's a very, it's usually an older type injury when you're in your late 20s or 30s, but that was the injury. It was not an ACL, an MCL, or anything like that. And he'll, as of right now, the plans are for him to undergo surgery in the morning, which will obviously put him out for the rest of the year. They should be back in 5, 6, 7 months, just however the healing goes. They should be in a prognosis that way as far as that goes. I mean, like they say anywhere from 4 to 7, 8 months, so in that range like you would an ACL-type injury. So hopefully what we would have is, spring ball be in the middle of the 7th month. So hopefully be back and participating, which he doesn't get hit then anyway. Hopefully be done some drills and be going through spring practice by then. But, again, you have to wait and see how the rehab and everything else goes.
Jimbo, have you ever had a true freshman quarterback that's played and started, and when was it? What was the scenario that you had to play one?
Had Gabe Gross, who was a great baseball player, played in Major League Baseball, started for me at Auburn. In that regard, I'm trying to think who else. As a true freshman, Jamarcus was a red shirt. I believe that was it.
What are the challenges for a kid that's only been on campus for a month? I know there are immense. And do you have to change the way you coach a guy that's only been on campus for a month?
You coach what the guy can do. You don't change the way you coach. Coach the same way, and by the amount of information and things that he can handle. And that's one of the things I was encouraged about during camp that he did and did in our scrimmages. And you got to remember, when we ones on twos, twos on ones, he was going against our ones in every scrimmage. So he went against that and produced and made a lot of good plays against a very good defense. And made a lot of throws, a lot of decisions, a lot of run reads. I mean, a lot of things he did. So we'll go out there and coach and do the things we do. The big thing is, I think there's got to be drastic change. There doesn't. We just have to continue to do what we do and do what we do well.
What is James's demeanor like in the huddle, dealing with you?
Very good. Excellent. I mean, very easy. I mean, very strong-willed, very independent, confident. Not arrogant, but confident. Has a great presence to him.
Question for you, Coach, about Derwin James's recruitment. Could you just recount what you saw in him at such a young age, 14, 15, however old it was, when he first got his offer that convinced you that he would be a scholarship athlete?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to – a lot of times those guys, you can't still see size potential, but you saw it in him at that age, that he has a size potential and was physically developed. And then you saw the maturity, the athleticism, and you knew there was no – I mean, it was almost like you knew – instantly that this guy's going to be a player and you better start recruiting him now because he had speed, size, intangibles. And then when you got around him, his intelligence and just the way he talked to you and the way he interacted and the way he played, I mean, it was a very natural thing, and it was very obvious.
Jimbo, with a true freshman quarterback, is there a way like that you start the game, you try to get him like a little more into?
You do what you got to do to win the game. You go do what you got to do to win the game and put him in position to make plays. I mean, some people think, well, if I don't, I start him off real slow, what's the best downs to throw the football on? First down. Third and a mile, everybody knows it's coming. So, I mean, a lot of times it's the early down. Sometimes it's not. Just on whatever you think you got to do to win the game. You can't change how you do. You got to do what your team can do and how he fits into the team concept. You can't play it around him. You play it around your team. And that's where I think you have to understand and how he fits into that scheme.
Jimbo, were you happy with the way that the defense tackled in space? It seemed like there were a couple times they were able to keep Alabama from getting a first down.
No, we did. We leveraged the ball very well. We kept great leverage, great eyes on the ball. I was very, again, saying all that in that game, you talk about our defense, I was very, besides the first 3 drives, they moved the ball the first 3 drives. They popped out a run, which we had. We thought we had a tackle right there. The guy broke a tackle and had a big run. Then we managed that. Then the second drive, they got down there. And then after we got ahead, we had the safety rotation. And then they scored. But after those first 3 drives, they were excellent and did a great job in sudden change when they got the ball backed up, keeping us in the ball game. The pressure they got on the quarterback, tackled in space, leveraged the ball. When one guy would bounce, it would bounce to another. And we kept great eyes on the ball. Thought they tackled in space. Thought we're physical up front. Pressured the quarterback and the guy who scrambled well and still were able to, even when he broke out, still be able to rally because we are athletic and fast on that side of the ball. And in that regard, was very proud of how they played in that regard right there. Our defense did a great job.
Jimbo, of course, I know you like to take true freshman quarterbacks and give them a year to develop, but with someone like James in the position he's in now, how does that development process change, or does it really?
It doesn't. You coach what they can do. And I said that for him to move up and do the things he did in scrimmages. And it's not that I like to do that. Usually, if you got an experienced guy who's doing better, that's what usually happens. But at the same time, it doesn't say you can't do it. I didn't see nothing in the rule book that says he can't go play well or our team can't go play well. And that's what our goal will be. And we'll do the things that we need to do as a team and around him and as a team to make things work. Because we still got a lot of really good players. And like I said, I still feel good about our offense. In that game, 5 out of the first 7 drives, we moved the ball up and down the field, had opportunities to really move it, threw it, ran it. Even though we didn't run it as well early, people said we didn't run. Well, that wasn't the plan. We wanted to throw the ball early on early downs, get good down and distance, spread the field a little bit. And then we started running the ball and have success. Then we just lost the momentum in the game and got behind. But, again, I came away from the game very encouraged in a lot of areas and disappointed overall and disappointed that, we didn't dot I's and cross T's and finish some things. But I'm not discouraged at all, very encouraged, but believe it or not.
Jimbo, when we spoke to Alec Eberle after the game, he said James Blackman has the it factor. Whatever it is, James has it. I don't know if you agree with that, or what have you seen from James that kind of...
Have to ask James, ask Eberle what it is. No, it is. He has presence and poise. And he's naturally likes to be in the huddle. And when your guy calls a play and how he does, I say that all the time, that if you ever looked at a quarterback, I always say that the number one thing they have to have, barring anything, I always look at very early, and I say number one, and one of the things is presence. And I don't mean it with arrogance. They just have presence, and when they talk, there's a natural command and things to what they do and how they carry themselves. And I think James does that. But saying all that, too, I'm high on Bailey and those guys, too. I think he and J.J. both are doing a great job, and I think I got a chance to have some great young players here.
All right, so he stole my thunder a little bit, but as far as
they got you for not using the mic last time.
I know. I think that's what it was. As far as James, going back to when he was recruited, and I know you mentioned his ability to kind of recall information, store information, but what other intangibles do you remember?
Well, you saw it on film. Athletic, moved, threw the ball extremely well, really good arm talent. Came to our camp and threw the ball exceptional and learned very well. As you taught him drops, as you taught him things, he picked up and was very eager to learn and very natural in how he did things, and was just very impressive in camp, how he learned, how he retained information, how he threw the football, his accuracy, his arm strength, and his size. And what you don't realize, he has good mobility. He moves around well.
Obviously, no 2 quarterbacks are the same. What specific adjustments do you kind of have to make going from DeAndre being QB1 to James being QB1?
We're going to do what we do as an offense, what we got to do to win the game. Whatever we feel gives us the best chance to win the game is what we'll do.
Have you named a backup to Blackman yet?
J.J. and Bailey will both be right there doing both. Mm-hmm.
We'll go to the phone real quick. Matt, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Jimbo, how did, during the recruiting process, how did James Blackman get on your radar in the first place?
Well, he's in the state of Florida, and we cover Florida, religiously, all schools. We try to get in all schools and have contact with all schools, and you get a lot of film from that area. He's from the Belgrade area, which we've had great success with recruiting and things that go there, and we saw film of it. We saw film of him there, and said really liked what we saw on film. Now that's engaged and see what kind of person he is, see a background, and see who he is, and then get him to camp, see if we can get him to come up to our camp and work for us. And he came up.
What are the biggest improvements you've seen? You've only had July or whatever. What are the biggest improvements you've seen from him since then?
Well, I think overall just knowledge of the game. I think in his ability to want to learn. He studies the game. He works at it. And that's what I say. People don't realize football's like a class. It's just like math class or English class or science class or computer class. You have to work at it. You don't just do it while you're here. It's a class you have to spend time and you study just like you do and prepare for tests and prepare and gain knowledge as you gain. And a lot of people don't look at that, but he does it that way. He is a guy who he'll go home and come back and ask questions, look at film, come back and ask questions, on his own time. I think he just likes ball.
Thanks, Jimbo.
Thank you.
Jimbo, how helpful can it be to have a guy like Alec Eberle there who's made the calls, has been there 2 years to kind of help and be,
very experienced in the run game, too, and in the pass game and help him if 3 down, 4 down, which he does DeAndre and all of our centers. That's what Stork did so well. One of the things Stork did so early with Jameis. Allowing him on calls as Jameis fit his way in, even as smart, as brilliant as he was. Early, taking some pressure off. Hey, this is 3 down, this is 4 down. Allowing the calls to come quicker. Hey, I think they're going to stack. Hey, I think they're, get back on the sideline and communicate to them. This is what I'm seeing. They're playing a lot of stack. They're playing a lot of over. They're playing a lot of double eagle. Those communications on the sideline too that allow those things to happen, and for your declarations and your protections and run checks. It makes a big difference, and that's what people don't realize. Like you say, center's really like a second quarterback, as you say. That's a great point. And Eberle again played well, and I thought, matter of fact, he played excellent in that game. He played really well. Probably our lineman of the game.
Jimbo, when you get difficult news like DeAndre, do you try to bring the team together and address them, or how do you handle that when?
No, you individually, and when we have our team meeting, we'll address all the issues that go on with guys we have, guys we don't have, and what we have to do. And again, it's all an awareness of, because we're one family, and what we have to do and how we have to approach things and do things. And the biggest thing is everybody feels like they have to change and go. You don't have to up your game. You got to do what you do. You're who you are. We don't have to change dramatically. We don't have to do anything except go continue to play better, put the dot the I's, cross the T's, don't have the things that change the momentum of that game, and then clean up some of the special team stuff and go play.
How did your conversation with DeAndre go? I'm sure he's disappointed.
He's very disappointed. Because DeAndre's a guy. Not only that he wants to play, but he wants to be there with his teammates. And I think that's one of the things that people don't really. And we say it all the time, man. But when you become so connected as a team, and when you're a quarterback, when you go through the work habits and the things you have to do to play at this level, at any level. And you feel like, you want to be there with your brothers, and you feel like you let them down. Like I told them, but this is part of ball, man. That things happen. And you have to deal with it and be mentally strong for them to be there, just like Derwin went through a tough thing a year ago. And that's all part of it, and how you handle it and what you deal with, and try to explain that to him. But he's very down for not just himself, but, for his teammates, that he wants to be there with his teammates.
Jimbo, how as much emphasis as you put on special teams, how disappointed were you with those breakdowns, especially the block punt and the block field goal? What happened there?
The block punt was as simple as this: split too wide. We done it 29 days in a row. We were just too wide. It was that. It's that simple. There was no chance to block him because of the split you took, and something we do every day. And it's not nobody. The guy just made a mistake. And the other one was a technique. We got a rock, shoot our right arm up, secure the hole, make them step over, and then they squeezed through. We didn't get it up, and he got his hand in there and blocked it. And like I say, it's very disappointing, again, because for them, because no one did it on purpose. Those players don't do it on purpose. We have to coach it better. We have to do it better and get them to understand that. But that's what I say, how quick a momentum of a game can change. We're ready to score a touchdown, have a chance maybe to have it on the 2-yard line. But if we don't, then we get it back and tie it up. That was a momentum swing. And then coming back out second half, moved it very well. Got down there, but still changed field position. Had a great deal, and then they punt it back, and we get the block punt, and it starts. And those two huge things that every time, like I always say, ball is a game of not just doing it right, but never doing it wrong. That you got to do it every time, and there was 2 advantages right there they took advantage of, and we can't allow that to happen.
Jimbo, in terms of having now to prepare a freshman quarterback the second week, how much does a continuity of your coaching staff and that offensive staff kind of help with the learning curve and everything?
Well, I think it will. But we're going to do what we do. But having guys there for your other players, because they're not going to change anything. The other players can't change anything. They got to they do what they do and who they are, and we play. But the continuity definitely helps, because when you're relating to other guys in your staff and how we bouncing ideas off of things we've done in the past, things we haven't done in the past, or things in game plans, that makes it easier.
Jimbo, there looked to be a few freshmen that got a lot of playing time, but Hamza seemed to really play well. Had that big hit to stop the first down. Just what did you like when you went back and watched the film?
Again, I love what he's doing. He's athletic. He's long. He's smart. He's a big body guy who's physical but can run like a very light skill guy. And like I said, I love his skill set, his length and size, and walk out there in a game like that magnitude, and be able to perform as well as he did. Cam Akers was outstanding when he got his time in there, was very good. Kane Doe, I know, jumped in there and did some great things. I'm sure there's some others, but on top of my head, I bet those guys kind of jumped out at me. I saw.
When you look back at the film and you look at the running game, of course, Alabama #1 in run defense last year, but what did you kind of observe with the running attack and maybe
it wasn't that bad. We knew we was going to have to be patient with it. If you get 2 and 3 and 4 yards at a time, you do it. We just never got it. We started getting into it in the middle of the second quarter, and that's what we planned early, to be aggressive, high percentage, misdirection, get some try to spread the field, get throws, and then be able to run the ball at them as you go. You're not going to line up at them and just run at them. And then we had a couple nice stretches. And a couple of the runs up there, one time a receiver fell down on a cut. We shouldn't have cut, should have stayed up. We had another stretch that was going to come out of there big time. We were inches away on Cam Akers one time, hit about a 5-yard run on a stretch about the 40 going in. That was really good if you'll watch. I'm not disappointed with the run game at all. They made a couple of stops, and we knew they would. But we just never got into it, and then we got behind and had to throw the ball a little bit. And the momentum of the game changed. But if you watch the first 2.5 quarters, when we did run it, it was still efficient. And even if it's a 3-yard run to get to 2nd and 7, then you hit a 5, then you go to 3rd and 2. Those are very efficient runs. You got to be patient like that, and they would eventually broke. I was not disappointed in our run game at all. We just didn't do it enough the way the game turned out.
Jimbo, you're not a woe is me guy. After the game, you seem pretty positive. Right now, you seem pretty positive too. Are you kind of excited about having this kind of challenge of
yes, I definitely am. Because hey, you got to coach. You got to keep coaching. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do the hand that you're dealt, and you go play. And listen, we got plenty of ability. We got plenty of good players. Now we got to go coach and get the cobwebs out and play better. And that's what we do. This is what we do for a living. This is what we are. It's what our kids are. And I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I think they are too. If you're a competitor, you definitely do. And like I say, I'm disappointed in some of the things that happen, but I also see the plus side in things. And we move on and address things and go.
Jimbo, have you gotten a chance to tell James that he's the starter? And whether you have or you haven't, what will kind of be your message to him as he gets ready for his first week?
Well, my time is prepare, put your time in. This is show him exactly what we're going to do, what's expected of him, and to not to play one play at a time, trust your eyes, process the information, make great decisions. When you get a chance to be accurate with the ball, make it. If you make a check, and believe in what you're doing. Do it with conviction. Do it with conviction.
All right, we'll go back to the phone for Chris. Jimbo, how you doing?
All right, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. With the other 2 quarterbacks on the roster, are they going to see some time on Saturday if it gets to that point?
Oh, I don't know. It would be great if you could, but if you can get everybody to play, we'd have everybody with experience, but you don't know how the games go. I wish I knew the outcome of all the games. I could tell you who's going to play when, where, and why, but we don't know. And those guys will get ready. Like I said, JJ had a good camp. Bailey had a good camp. He just got hurt right there at the actually got sick and then hurt his thumb here a little bit. Now it's healthy. I told him he should have hurt his thumb early. He's throwing the heck out of it right now. I was joking with him the other day. But I was very pleased with his progress, too, like where he's at.
Jim, I know with you,
Jimbo, good luck.
Thank you.
I know with you've definitely tried to implement psychology into being a cornerstone of this program. But for you, what's kind of the psychology or the psychological approach you take with a guy like James being quarterback, in the sense of not letting the moment get too big, not letting outside things influence him, but at the same time doing well?
Prepare. What you got to do. All kids, no matter if it's James or DeAndre or a senior or Derwin thinking he's got to go do more because everybody said he's Derwin James. No. My psychology is prepare. Prepare for success. The power of preparation. And to get yourself, it's like taking a test. Because when I eventually play, it's like you're getting tested every week. All right, here's my test in my class. And the tests we like to take are the ones we're prepared for. If we're prepared for them, we usually do well on them. If we're not, we don't. And it's crazy. That's how simple it is. And that's the way you got to look at it. You got to lose yourself in the process of getting ready and not worry about the results. And him trusting us and that what I'm telling him and what our coaching staff and everyone's saying, what our program does, it works.
Jimbo, those felt like the games where Alabama turns a 14-point lead into a 40-point win because of all the momentum. What can your defense build off in that fourth quarter? And
I think our team can. I don't think your defense can. You don't. Your defense doesn't. Your team does. That you keep playing and you played hard and you're going to keep competing with them no matter what. And that's what our motto. We're never going to back away. And I didn't expect it to happen. I really didn't, because I thought our team would play that way. I thought we competed hard in the game. I don't think that was an issue. I thought we could play with them. You know what I mean? But they're a great team. I give them all the credit in the world. But at the same time, it shows you what you're capable of. And that's the encouraging thing, that we can go be a dominant football team at times if we have to be, or do the things we have to do to win games. And we got to go back and don't press. We ain't got to step. Nobody's got to step their game up. We just got to play our game.
Jimbo, how did the receivers play overall?
Solidly. Had some things we got to get cleaned up, and some of the blitz reads, and breaking some things off that we had some opportunities. If we broke, we had a chance to really pop there. And DeAndre missed one or two of them too, and we had some opportunities there, really big opportunities. But again, they made some plays. Auden got a couple plays, and then he had a couple. Keith Gavin had 7 catches. I mean, did a real nice job. Caught some balls. I mean, everybody, we talk about the fumble on the other, but the rest of it, he played pretty daggone well. And ran good routes, got open, caught the ball, made good plays. Had a nice reverse.
Will DeAndre be around the team in any capacity?
Soon as he held his operation tomorrow, and when he's able to get up and do what he has to do, which should be pretty quick, I imagine. I don't know. They'll rehab him pretty quick. Yes, he's like he said, he's looking forward to it, and he's looking forward to spending time with James.
Yeah, and how important is it to have him still?
Oh, it's huge.
In the mix.
Just like it was Derwin last year, and I think it is no matter what, and just going through the process of how do you prepare and all the little things you do.
Coach, how did Derwin look to you against
I thought he played
Alabama?
really well. I did. I thought he played well. He tackled well in space, leveraged the ball, made all of his calls. I think I thought he looked really well. Fit in the different. He had a nice blitz or two. He came off the edge. He played in coverage well. I thought he played well, and which I was not worried, but I was concerned he would try to be too much. Too hyped up. But he didn't. He just allowed. And he was Derwin. Played really well.
Jimbo, when you looked back at the game, how frustrating was it that first possession of the third quarter when you got down to, I think, 1st and 10 at the 34, it didn't cash in? And
it was. It was very frustrating right here. I can tell you the drive right here. That's what I was looking at just a little bit ago. And we had to what was bad, we had a play that we missed a block, about a 15-yard run. I mean, on the outside on the perimeter blitz. We knew they were going to blitz, knew exactly what they were going to do, and just missed it. I mean, just flat missed it. And back missed it, and we had it. And then the run Roger, we popped, and we had a chance on it. And then the third down sack was, disappointing that we lost that right there. We were trying to get back in. But, again, that's what I said. We moved it the whole first half up and down the field as far as, we had 1 3 and out. And the first 3 and out we had, actually, they batted 2 balls. They tipped 2 balls, but both our routes were wide open. We felt good about everything we did. We felt great at halftime, the adjustments, what we did. We come out second half, moved the ball well, moved it the next drive, too. And then we missed, on a 3rd and 5, missed a blitz control read. Right there, we didn't point. If we break it off right there, we get a nice first down. And then that's when the block punt happened, and it changed. But it was disappointing because we had opportunities, but you just got to finish. And and they say it's not an assignment; it was just a missed technique. We had the guy, we knew he was coming. We went too wide, and he cut inside us. They made the play, and it's there when you got it. And they say you just got to show them, teach them, and make sure the angles and the steps and everything we do is right.
And aside from DeAndre, any other significant injuries out of the game?
None. I mean, I think they lost a couple guys for the year, too. I think they lost more than we did, believe it or not, which is a shame. I hate to see any young man get hurt. I mean, that's a shame. But, no, we didn't. I mean, we're a very physical game, but a clean, hard, 2 teams that went at it, and very physical football game.
Jimbo, when you have third-party officials, in this case the Big Ten, you had the call on Nooney, the non-call, I should say, on Nooney. What kind of recourse? I know in the ACCs it's a procedure. What are you doing? It's a third-party
Usually
official.
what you do, you send it into our office, and they say, well, we'll send it to the Big Ten, and I'll send it to them, and there is nothing you can do about it. But, hey, I thought it was a call, but at the same time, hey, we got to make the field goal. But they changed. That's the thing. They're momentum swings. If you score a touchdown there, now you got the ball on the 2-yard line with 12 seconds. You got 2 plays. Maybe you score, maybe you don't. You don't know what you're going to do. But those are big momentum swings too. I mean, that's the thing. Momentum in game, you hear me talk about it all the time, is huge. But we'll turn them in and say, but hey, we had our own chance. We still had chances after that, and it's like a play. If they don't see it, they don't see it. If they don't call it, it's not a foul. You got to play the next play, and you move on.
Jimbo, did you like what Ryan Izzo brought to the passing game?
I thought Izzo was excellent in the game. I thought he blocked really well. If you saw him in pass, we changed a lot of things up with pass pro. When you leave him in, that also helps your inside lineman. I mean, on twist, because they don't get exposed now in all them twist games. And we leave him in sometimes, release the back. We mixed it up a lot more in that game. He pass blocked well. He ran blocked really well. And he caught those balls really well. And had a couple other we thought we could got to him, but got some pressure. But he did a nice job. The other one, as you said, Ira was the first drive. We had that ball right there at the 36, and we had to play. We just missed it too. That was 2 times one right there in that 30. I called that gray area. You know what I mean? Right there, right where you're ready to get points, and you didn't. The opening drive of the game, we missed a little throw right there that we had. But those are the things you got to work on and get through. But Izzo did a nice job. Really nice job. Probably the most consistent player in the game, really, for us on off. He and Eberle played really well.
During pregame, it looked like Carlos Becker was trying to make a go of it. How close was he to playing?
Shocking. Some guys, it's why you guys give me timetables. People's bodies heal differently. I mean, you say some guys, the same injury can take 3 weeks. The next guy, it takes him 5 days. It's just the way God makes us differently. And all of a sudden, he had a lot of swelling the other day, and it was like 3 days later, and all of a sudden the swelling started really coming out. And so he said he felt like he had a chance. He wanted to try it. He was close. He really was close to having. So, but we'll see. I don't know how that'll set him back, and we'll see how he does this week. But they come up to me on that, at the end on Thursday or Friday right there when we were leaving Thursday and said, his swelling really just, a lot of it went away.
Jimbo, just wanted to get your thoughts on Louisiana Monroe.
Very good team as far as different looks on defense. I know the defense coordinator, Mike Collins, he was with us at LSU when I was there, was one of our off-field guys. A lot of different looks. I mean, blitz packages, a lot of bear, double eagle fronts, play a lot of over, play a lot of stack, double edge pressures, secondary pressures, mix it up. Offensively spread the field, quarterback's athletic, got skill guys. Louisiana is a state that always has great skill guys. And all those schools, I mean, I don't know how, for a state that has 4 million people, they got more schools that have more good players. And I lived there. And it's amazing the amount of skill guys and things that are throughout that state. And you go back in the history of Northeast Louisiana, I always said back in the day, now it's Louisiana Monroe, that used to be Northeast. You go back in the history of guys that played in the NFL and players from those schools, it's amazing. And be very skilled and got some really big offensive linemen. And we'll have to go. We're going to have to play a very good game. And then we need to. We need to control what we can control, and that's play them well. Go ahead. Corey, you got one?
Jimbo, as a coach who's long prided yourself on special teams, when you have so many breakdowns in one game in the opening game,
never had it.
Do you wonder? Okay, are we coaching it the right way? What do we have to do to make sure that we
start?
Go back
and pull out the practice tape. Like I said, one was a split, one was a technique, and we go back and look at the film. Did it every time. Split. We never had a problem with the split. It just was. And then Keith just made a poor decision. Keith just made a poor decision where he was on the ball. I think he thought he was more around the 4 or 5 yard line and didn't know what to, should have just let the ball go through. And had very pride it because, like I said, we've led the country in special teams at times or been in the top 2 or 3. And it's still, I think our coaching is very well. We just got to make sure we hold our kids accountable and that we show them the right way again. Go back and reteach it fundamentally and the importance of it. And, we just didn't catch a split. A split just got wide. And as the game went on, and it got us. And you got to remind them it's not just can I do it right, can I do it till I can't do it wrong. And we just got to make sure we harp on the details, not change. There's nothing to change. It's just stay focused and make them stay focused and us be aware of every little detail in which they do it. And it's a shame. It is a shame. It's very disappointing. It is very disappointing.
Jimbo, with the defense, when you said it's harder for the offenses to kind of click, it's easier to coach defense.
I don't say it's easier to coach defense. I always say it's just defenses in which, and Nick, we always say when the ball's involved, timing and rhythm, you can play real well, and the rhythm just be a hair off. You know what I'm saying? Defense usually doesn't take that, but it's hard to be on both sides. I didn't mean it like that, but
yeah. Would you think that's a reason why certain teams that have really, really great defenses and maybe the offense is kind of lagging behind, why those teams kind of have success during seasons?
Well, I think they do, and I think the other thing is on offense, when you make somebody to hit, say for in basketball, he's constantly hitting a 3 with a guy's hand right here in his face. When you're good on defense and you're contesting, I like when we play well, you contest every throw. You contest every catch, every run, no matter what. It's still, your guy has to break a tackle or really hit a guy and knock him backwards. When you make it so concise when you're good on defense that you put that pressure on the offense, it's hard to continually just execute against great people over and over and over and over again because it eventually wears on you. You know what I'm saying? It's like the great defensive players. You hit a few shots here and there, but, man, they're just right back. And how many in a row can you hit? Let's find out how many you can hit. Or, in baseball, that those pitchers, you can be the best hitter in the world. Have pitchers throwing that ball on the black of the plate, about 95, about knee-high. There ain't a lot you can do. Occasionally you hit one, but there ain't a lot of them that, that do it. And that's kind of the way it is. When you're on defense and you can affect people on 3 levels and you can contest everything they do and make it really tough, it makes it very difficult to execute. You may give up plays, but for long periods of time, it becomes very challenging. That's one of the things that had me encouraged because I knew how good we are on defense and that we have made a lot of those things against our defense at times. And I still think we will. And we did at times in that game. We really did. The first 7 drives we had the ball. Even though we didn't, we still get very contested throws and catches and moved until the momentum changed. So we just got to clean it up and do better. Yes. That was just a safety rotation on the motion, and one thought he was back, and the other thought he was back. And in the corner, he's letting the guy go to the post, playing outside a little bit more because he thinks he's got help over the top. You know what I mean? So you don't give up other things. And it was just a miscommunication of the safeties. They got cleared up. All right. Thank you, guys.